since there's no Logris, there's no magic. Like magic is slowly going away, and because pattern is all about like the order, the true order of things, where magic is about chaos. So since there's no Logris, there's like magic will slowly go away. Even if you've made a zone about all magic, it will slowly get, siphon off because there is no power of chaos as its battery, I guess you could call it. Because that's like the stuff of the universe, I would say. I don't know.
All right. Now, Doc, you were saying you think some of this started when Janice started doing her thing around Ghost Wheel. Why do you think it's around Ghost Wheel and not some kind of creation of Ghost Wheel that she's doing this to? Why are we not in some kind of invention of Ghost Wheel? Or why
we might be.
Well, when you were talking about it, you were kind of conceptualizing it as if we were inside Ghost Wheel.
Oh, we are. So Ghost Wheel is what orders the pocket shadows that are in our quote-unquote universe.
Yeah. I think you froze up there a little bit.
So in the past, it all ordered correctly when an idiot gave it the Gem of Judgment. But since then, I'm not sure what has happened because it's been X amount of who knows how long it's been.
Right. When me and McKay went to Ghost Wheel, that's where we went to. When we went to Gargamel's book and you instructed it to take you to the Jewel of Judgment and it took us to Ghost Wheel?
It took us inside, yes.
And we went up to that one little obelisk thing that was coming out of the ground. It had the hole in it. That's what he put the gem in, right? Mm-hmm. And you had commented, I remember, that you had commented on a couple of these sword nicks from you when you had hit it with a sword. Is that right?
That's correct.
And Logan, do I remember seeing that? Were the nicks in this thing that he was talking about?
Yeah.
All right. And when we got the jewel back, how did you get the jewel? That's part when we crossed the bridge, and you crossed the bridge. I got thrown off it, and then from there we were in the room with the weird little computer thing. It was like a metal room, right? So that was inside Ghost Wheel, right?
Right.
Where did you get the jewel from there, or did you bring it with you?
I brought it with me. I already had it. I had found it.
When you instructed the book to take you to the Jewel of Judgment, it knew to take you to Ghost Wheel? So remember, you opened Gargamel's book where you touched it, and you said, Jewel of Judgment, and then we ended up in that hallway before the bridge. You remember?
No, I already had the Jewel of Judgment.
Where did you find it?
You don't remember, do you? I look at him.
No, I don't.
Because you instructed the book to take you to the Jewel of Judgment. And the jewel must have been inside Ghost Wheel still. Now, when we went in the room with McKay, yeah, because to cross the bridge, the old man, I think that was Dworkin, right?
No.
That wasn't Dworkin at the bridge?
No. That was a construct of Ghost Wheel.
Yeah,
it looked a lot like Dworkin, though.
It did?
Oh, yeah. You've seen Dworkin before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It looked just like Dworkin.
It looked like Dworkin to me.
It could have been Dworkin, but it might have been just a construct that looked like him.
He's a goofy old wizard. There could be multiple Dworkins, and that all makes sense. He's a tricky one, that one. And Dworkin, if you're listening, I need to talk to you. But anyway, you when he asked you what you were seeking, you told him you were seeking the Jewel of Judgment, and I did as well. Now, once we got in that room, it must have been inside that computer or whatever, right? Do you remember opening that little panel, a computer?
Yeah.
Is that where the jewel was then? I try to make my memory Logan. Do I remember him taking it out of there?
It's kind of blurry for some reason. It's whatever you can personally remember, but you think you're on the right track. But on the other hand, is your memory true? Is your mind your own? You're not sure, but some beers would definitely help. Maybe some pot. Pot and beer, definitely.
We
were in there. We got the jewel.
That sounds right to you.
Away from Ghost Wheel. You eventually gave it back to King Random, is what I heard. Is that right?
Yeah, but it wasn't really King Random. And also, when I had the jewel, that's when I inscribed the pattern on the floor inside of Ghost Wheel.
That was afterwards.
Right, after we got it.
So you came back and inscribed the pattern in that same room?
Yeah, in that open room that was right next to where the control panel was.
And eventually that got moved to that Last Chance Saloon, or they were connected somehow. I never went there myself. I'm just putting together pieces. And then it eventually moved to the village. And then
unfortunately,
Janice did her little mojo thing. It's on lockdown. Is that right? Assuming it's still there.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's still there anymore because it will go to, like, the reason it went there and then it became like a Gulf paradise is because that was like my version of like a great place to be all the time. So it will like revert to whoever is like in charge of it at the time, because I don't have the same kind of influence as I used to here.
Well, that was what you're talking about, being there as a number 2.
No, that's okay.
Well, I've been number 2 as well before.
Oh, well. Congrats.
Briefly. No, I thought that's what he was saying. It depends on when you're there, who you're with. You might be someone else.
Well, it's not even with the village itself. It goes, I'm talking like above and beyond like that zone itself.
So you don't remember specifically where you got the jewel?
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure we got it in that room somehow, but the memories are fuzzy, you're saying. All right. Now, you said you gave it to King Random, but you don't think it was King Random.
No, I don't think it was. I even made him walk the pattern, too.
You made him walk the pattern?
I think it was an agent of
Merlin.
Of Merlin's.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's just something off about him. It wasn't like just was not him.
Oh, don't forget to mention the last time we were in Amber and you had a little look at what they were meeting about when you were up in the choir singing and all that.
About us and about the different things going on.
And how they were acting a bit differently, some of them.
Right, because they weren't truly them. I think those were constructs, or they were agents from Chaos.
So the question is, where are the originals?
So that means Fiona's gone somewhere. We're not sure where. But since she's magic too, she could be lost somewhere in Chaos, because she's an Amberite, so she could be lost somewhere in the courts of Chaos, or being, maybe she's like delving into something to do there.
Yeah, it's all quite complicated here, Mason. And yeah, we're not really
other
sure.
than your feelings that something was off about him, what would you say your strongest evidence that it's not him?
That's it. Like, I just read him, and it wasn't him.
When you also kind of slyly mentioned it to Merlin, his reaction to you was also quite,
Yeah, Merlin basically was like, you noticed that? So it was confirmed ish, but that also could be Merlin trying to mislead me. But I don't know. Yay for Amber and Chaos.
So when Merlin said that to you,
You were there with us. You were with us.
Yeah, I don't remember that comment
That's
though.
when
So
we
when you
went.
were,
Yeah, okay.
so when you were saying that to Merlin, why he's, I think Chris might have froze up. I'm seeing low connection here. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, Chris is freezing intermittently because his connection's spiking a lot. Because
Yeah,
he
he's
has
feedback
evil
now.
roommates that he has not yet killed.
So when we were with Merlin and you said this, you were commenting that something seemed off with King Random, and that was how he replied?
He kind of didn't mention it that directly. I think he mentioned something along the lines of, I like what you're doing with the other place or something like that. Something more subtle.
Oh, of course it was something
Yeah.
weird and subtle.
I
Like
don't
that's
remember
all they
exactly
do.
what he said, but yeah. It got the point across.
Now, let me ask you some more stuff about this, because you keep referring to Ghost Wheel as though we are inside him versus
This is his multiverse, shadow dimension, whatever you want to call it. He made this.
I like to
So-
think, right, I get that.
Yeah.
Because when we met Merlin, remember he trumped Ghost Wheel and said some of yours got out of their box.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, as a way of conceptualizing what's happening here, is are we actually inside Ghost Wheel, or are we inside some little battery he's created that's fueling his flying saucer?
Well, okay, so let's say that this is Ghost Wheel, like this circle. Ghost Wheel is in the middle, like he's the hub, okay? And that's the control room. And then on the hub are spokes to the wheel.
Mhm.
And on those spokes, on the outside are where the major shadows are. And then on the spokes is where the smaller versions of those major shadows are. Because there's always shadows of shadows.
Right.
And-
You're describing the shadow. You're almost describing how shadows branch out from Amber. So you're
That's
saying
exactly
Ghost
right.
Wheel patterned himself after Amber?
Yes. However,
Or
there is...
has he created some sort of artifact that is independent of him?
Ghost Wheel is an artifact. It's just a gigantic artifact.
Yeah,
Right.
Merlin made.
Yeah, Merlin made Ghost Wheel. I realize that, but I'm trying to figure out if we are somehow separated from Ghost Wheel. Because if we are inside Ghost Wheel, and at any given time, one of his ancillary shadows that he's integrated, why is he allowing sort of back doors from other parties inside of himself? So, for example, Clems is sort of a Ghost Wheel system.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he allowing some kind of void to be in the back of some of those Clems that go to a shadow pocket of someone?
So if you think about Ghost Wheel is like an artificial intelligence. He was created from Merlin.
Mhm.
So maybe other versions of artificial intelligence, when we first began everything, there were different colors, which were different factions of different artificial intelligences. Now, if you think about that, those could also be shadows of Amberites from the way they all kind of act. So you have all these different artificial intelligences that all want to do their own thing. So they start making different things in the background. And we're all products of, like, we are memories of real things. And since Merlin created Ghost Wheel with all of those memories, we are shadows. We're shadows of once we once were. But we went to Amber and we became real and then came back. So now we are real, where everybody else is kind of a shadow of what it all is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we're more real, I would think, because if we
weren't real before, but
still
we're real now.
If we still exit the firewall and go to amber, for example, we're still going to dissipate at some point. Yes.
You will die.
We had enough energy when
you
we
try to
had
stay
enough
there,
energy
can
to
you?
become real. Yeah. Well, because the more you get more real, the closer you get to actual amber. But once I inscribed the pattern here, everybody here is now more real, which is why we've not seen anybody, like everybody in the shadows now, they're a little bit of amber now. They're not what they once were. We've all become real. So we're all which is why it started pushing out, destroying other worlds, because I created a new pattern, which is why, the people in Amber kind of freaked out because they didn't know how powerful that could get and how far out it could, because eventually that could cause a pattern war. Because they have the primal pattern, so they're going to be always more powerful. So, if we create another primal pattern here, and we kept compounding the pattern here, it will continue, and then this will be the new quote unquote amber, right?
I mean, obviously the easiest way to quote unquote fix this is to balance it out with a low risk.
Right, and when we do that, that stops the pattern from just going out. But since our pattern is only so strong, it can probably only go out so far and then stop. However, now that there's power being sucked from the clock, which is connected to the clock in amber, maybe that's what's fueling and making it still go out further. And also now at this point, Janice is the one that controls it all. So now she is trying to make her own, maybe she's she wants to be like the grand ruler. And though
why would Ghost Wheel let Janice just
because Ghost Wheel is still not a complete person. It's still a framework. It's still an artifact. It is still an item, and its intelligence only gets so big, and then it stops. And then if you are the controller, now that person, and if you align with what it wants, all it cares about is being ordered. Ghost Wheel is all about making everything ordered until you give it other commands. So it's like a computer.
Are you sure Ghost Wheel is all about order?
Yes, because there is no Logris here.
Well, yes.
How do you know what Amber, Chaos, Ghost Wheel, and all that just aren't simulations from your memory, Doc? Or our memories? How do we know we're not in some kind of MyGo simulation?
I don't. But once we became real, now I know for sure that we aren't.
Isn't that what they wanted us to think?
Because we became real boys.
Simulated? Couldn't we just be simulated to seem more real?
That's what we were in Ghost Wheel until we broke out and became real.
What if this is just another version of us being real, and it's even more real than this?
Well, that's what the whole part of inscribing the pattern was. Now, before that, we probably could have hit a reset button, and the experiment would have reset, and it would have continued. But now that we've all become real, we all have influence of some kind. And whoever controls Ghost Wheel, that is the person who's deciding really the fates. It's just it's hard to do. And Ghost Wheel does have its own intelligence, so it does know what it wants to do too. So you have to work with it. If you work against it, then you have to work hardcore against it, which is why I'm thinking that Janice is doing what she's doing, because she's working hardcore against what Ghost Wheel wants.
Let me ask you something, going way back. You and he whose name shall not be spoken and some other blokes went and to encounter Ghost Wheel,
Mm-hmm.
you took the gem with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why were you taking the gem to Ghost Wheel?
Because that's remember when our shadow was becoming all crazy and
No, way back before then.
No. He's talking
Way
about
back before then.
in a different lifetime.
Oh, okay, carry on.
Yeah, because nothing fucking dies in Logan's brain.
So to destroy, because I believe there was a pattern in there, and we were going to use the gem to destroy that pattern and to make a new one and reset Ghost Wheel the way we want it, not reset the entire universe.
There was already a pattern inside Ghost Wheel back then, separate from the pattern that was in Castle Amber.
I don't remember, but I believe it was something about needing to break the pattern that was in it or something.
So you went to Ghost Wheel to break the pattern that was in it. Why did you want to break the pattern that was in Ghost Wheel?
Because it was doing what it's doing now.
What's he doing now?
It's pushing out to become the pattern. Because in Amber, there's multiple patterns. There's like the primal pattern, there's the pattern in the castle, and then there's the pattern on the seafloor. Yeah. So those are the patterns that make up all the realism. And since we've made another pattern here, now that's encroaching upon the main pattern that's out there, which is like old school pattern wars and whatnot.
So So then
could I ask for an evidence analysis roll at a quarter from everybody? I don't expect anybody to get this, but if you do...
No, I'll play my skill 5 because it's just...
Let me go through my cards right quick.
we got.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Skill 10.
Let me get rid of a few things.
Okay.
Surveillance. Anybody want to surveil something?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Nope.
Murder.
Oh, murder in the dark.
Yeah, you guys could have used that fucking murder in the dark and when you were in the fucking dark the other day. The total number of flashlights in the group yesterday was amazing, Jay.
It's not my fault they keep disappearing. I'm tempted to use my hand card here somewhere just to put out a flashlight. But no, I'm probably going to pull out a sword or something. Since that also went away.
Slowly we strip away all Freddy's gear.
I'm not at a quarter.
Cool. And Chris?
I'll play my skill 5 just to
spice it
up. Yep.
Close.
Close. Not quite though.
Yeah. Cool. All is well. Please continue your conversation.
Anybody want to try that? I got a supporter reroll and a regular reroll. Anybody?
Probably better to give it Doc then.
You think Doc?
Trade me a card there. Oh wait, wrong person. Sorry. There you go.
What's this?
Trade me a card.
Okay. Don't really have much, but okay.
All right, so I'll play a supporter reroll then. So Doc can reattempt his.
Damn.
Oh, haha, very funny.
You can't tell me it's not going to be useful
No,
for you.
no, you're right.
What do you give him?
What's mine is mine.
Yeah. For you especially.
Nah.
Okay. All is well.
Do you have another one, Jay?
Got a regular reroll?
All right.
Want that?
I have an assistant 5, so I'll trade you for the reroll to the assistant 5, and then you play it on me, and then there we go. And last time. Boop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck me. Right. One of the more interesting questions that was brought up, I believe, by Rasslin Rad is essentially, he phrased it differently, but why would you be given autonomy within Ghost Wheel's thing, especially after becoming real boys, as you put it? That's an interesting question there that has your mind kind of going on a little loop now. You're like, what is Ghost Wheel getting out of you being autonomous?
Well, it's because he wants us to fucking make the logos. This is all.
Well,
Ghost Wheel's plan.
that could be it, but there could be other things as well.
A bit deeper than that, but I think he's thinking of the deeper why.
I mean, it seems like it's strong enough to maybe just fucking get shit elsewhere type thing. Why use you? That's what's troubling Doc right now. I'm now wondering if I should just copy this whole briefing into like a what's going on video and have that published on the website. Because it's not really interfering with any current plots. It's all overarching stuff. So.
Yeah, so we were discussing Ghost Wheel's motivation. So you said basically Ghost Wheel himself wants to become more powerful, but at the same time, how could he be motivated if because you seem to think he's programmed to be motivated. So obviously you think Merlin has total control over him.
No.
But I suspect you don't.
Merlin lost control of him long ago.
So who controls him?
No one.
He controls himself. He's an artificial intelligence.
But maybe I misunderstood you, but you seem to be contradicting yourself because you seem to have described him as not being programmed to act autonomously almost.
So, do you remember War Games?
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't learned everything yet.
Okay.
So, do you remember how, like, the Whopper, like, it had to fight itself multiple times? And it still took how many simulations for it to figure out? And then that was just the happy ending that we got because it was a movie.
Vaguely. So here's a couple other things I want to...
Chris is dying again.
Are you back? Okay, cool.
He's kind of moving around like he's a stop animation guy, but...
So
well, I can hear everybody. So if you guys can hear me...
Yeah, now I can hear you. But it's cool how that happened just when he's like, I have a brilliant idea. Ghost Wheel went, nope! And he went...
So actually, that could also be why he's letting us run around. We're another part of, like, what happened. It's like, if things are influenced, let them do these things, and then I will gather data.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you some other things that I think might be connected. It might kind of give us some evidence as to the why this exists. So, Ghost Wheel back in the day, you remember... You were taking the Jewel of Judgment to Ghost Wheel to break the pattern in Ghost Wheel and hopefully inscribe a new pattern, hoping that would make him stop being a bad boy and give you more control over it. Now, before that point, what was the point of Ghost Wheel? My understanding is that Merlin created him to sort of catalog the shadows. The Amberites didn't like that he even existed. So what was Ghost Wheel's function before you went to destroy the pattern? Do you remember that exactly? What was he being used for?
That I don't know.
All right.
We didn't have a lot of insight into him then.
So that's
we have
fine.
much more information now than we did before.
Right.
Like
so
ridiculous
let's leave
amounts.
that there. So before we don't know exactly what Ghost Wheel is being used for. My recollection is that the Amberites didn't like him, didn't want it. I think Suede wanted to keep it around as some sort of prison or something for someone or something. But my understanding, it was built to sort of go out there, catalog the shadows, to allow Merlin to maybe travel between them or do research more effectively. But now we are inside Ghost Wheel's box. Now, before you inscribed the pattern inside Ghost Wheel or inside Ghost Wheel's box, you encountered different places and people that were part of this Golden Circle trade accord, right? These were people that were allowed to travel to Amber to trade.
I think it's an actual Amberite thing.
Now, do you know what I'm talking about? Yes, the Golden Circle.
Like, I've heard of them.
You remember the droiders who love their Kahlua and they sail?
Yeah.
They are a member of this Golden Circle or Cycle Trade Accord. They are people from different shadows. There's different factions that are a member of this Golden Circle. And I think the whole purpose of it is these are people that are allowed to travel shadow to trade with Amber. Now, if we are inside Ghost Wheel's box or inside Ghost Wheel, why would Amberites want to allow simulated creatures to travel out of Ghost Wheel's box to Amber? So I'm wondering, Ghost Wheel created all this as an alternative to existing shadows, or is he taking all the shadows and putting them inside his box? And now they have to get inside his box to get resources.
So that's I think those are two different things.
And now his motivation is to have us create a pattern, create a Logos. He is now more real and independent and has all the leverage. Because he has created a multiverse to extract resources from.
True. However, I think that's not a product of what Ghost Wheel wanted. I think that happened because Ghost Wheel's letting that happen because he's wanting to see how Amberites are affecting what's going on because he's a part of that world. Now, I think the Golden Circle is probably definitely run by multiple Amberites or even Amber and Chaos, an alliance, yes. So that's not just like one person. Right. But what I'm also thinking is that, so you talked about Ghost Wheel wants to become more powerful because Ghost Wheel's motivation was to like catalog all the shadows. Well, if you want to catalog all the shadows to make it easier, why don't we put it in the card catalog, which would mean that we want to order them in this way, which is why he wants, as the Ghost Wheel, he wants to put each shadow onto a spoke, and then each shadow goes out from there, and each difference goes in line as to what he organizes it as. And since he lost the power from the Gem of Judgment, something happened to dislodge his power, which happened back in so we gave it the power, and he was able to do that. But then somehow through time, the shadows shifted. So now that we've given him power, we've inscribed the pattern, and it's slowly building out. It is slowly rearranging where shadows are. So if you think of like shadows as planets, it's now building it out kind of like an atom. And it's building it in its organized way that it wants to do. It being Ghost Wheel. because that's what it's built to do, to catalog our shadows. So it's still, that's its basic programming still. However, now Janice, who now has influence, is saying, yes, we can do that, but I also want to do this. But we don't know what her other motivation is. We don't know what she wants to do with it all as well. And now the reason it's harder for us to go out is because Janice, being Mildred's daughter, wants to protect us from ourselves. And if we leave here, we can die. But if we're here, it's easier for us to stay alive. So she's kind of being an overbearing parent right now, since we didn't protect her the way that we should have in her mind. She is now protecting us from ourselves because we're very chaotic and we do a lot of harm. So let's keep the bad things here, which is why it's harder for us to travel. It's harder for us to use these powers to do this.
And protecting us from the Amberites as well.
Right, yes.
Both ways.
From everything. And then she can like monitor us here, which is also why there's probably we find these bugs and we find these different things, because if she has influence over the AIs that are still aligned with Ghost Wheel and what Ghost Wheel wants, that's probably something that she can do as well. Hovering for sure.
So, what do you think Ghost Wheel's end game is? What does it all boil down to?
What it all boils down to is that Ghost Wheel wants to put everything in alignment where it belongs, as it believes it belongs, and only as it believes in the order of things. And eventually, since the center of the universe is Amber, it wants to take over Amber, or it becomes more powerful than Amber, and then it orders everything as it believes it should be, and that's the way it is because that's what it's programmed to do.
So do you believe that Ghost Wheel then orchestrated the whole find the gem of judgment and
yes,
bring it to random?
Yes.
And do you think he's also the one behind wanting us to create the Logos as well? Or is that just justice that was telling us to do that?
Well, no, because I think that when we start doing things that Ghost Wheel wants us to do, it's going to give us a little bit of freedom and let us do what we want to do. And it's always kind of like hinted us back to where we needed to be. So now, if we inscribe the Logos here, yes, it will become more powerful, but then also we do too.
So it wants us to do that, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, it definitely does. Now, if anything, it could have gotten so powerful because it knows Merlin so well that maybe it's not even the real Merlin, but I'm not sure. I don't know enough. I'm not there yet. I don't have any evidence for that. However, though,
you don't know if it's really Granddad?
It might not be. Now, here's another thing, though, too, is because of the way that they act. When I saw them, like Fiona and Random, Ghost Wheel doesn't know them as well, so they're facsimile. They're like could be like maybe by watching us, it's learning how to make shadows of other people. So maybe they are in prison somewhere in Ghost Wheel, for all we know. And it could be so Fiona could be somewhere in Ghost Wheel, in like the actual Ghost Wheel, not like the shadows of it. And since that's why they get ignored also, because now things from our universe are so real that it, like people that are outside where Amber is, it looks all as real. And maybe there's enough power in them that they, because like how the shadows here, they ignore us sometimes, or they ignore like the Harlequins. Well, that same power could be in Fiona and Random right now. So that way, even if they are under suspicion, like someone could be like, well, they are just infused with, no, don't worry about this. Oh, no, don't worry about this.
Or maybe the Amberites know that.
I wouldn't say they know outright, because then again, you also got to realize that Amber is always going to have that power play. So now they are all doing their own thing because they all want to be king, or they all want to have more power in Amber.
So
there's so many factions at this point that you don't know. There is no good guys and bad guys. It's all become so gray. And because it's all become so gray, that makes Ghost Wheel want to do it even more. If that makes sense. Because Ghost Wheel wants the good guys and the bad guys, and that's it. This is the way it is, because this is 1 and 1 is 2. That's it. And that's how it's programmed, because it's a big computer, basically.
So, okay, let's say that we eventually made the Logos here, somewhere. Mm-hmm. What do you think Ghost Wheel will do next?
It will start... Well, that's why it's already slowly ordering the shadows. That's why there's subversions of... Like, all the subversions now are coming, because they're going along that spoke. So all the shadows will eventually come there. Like, those... Because since everything's so chaotic... It's pulling it in, but it has to become more powerful and move out.
Right. So it's just gonna make our universe a bit more orderly once we do whatever it wants us to do, essentially.
Right. But now we need to decide, do we want that or not? If we did do that, do we become the new powers, since we're from here originally? Do we care if that happens? And what if that does happen, how does it affect everything? Is it that bad a thing to have everything ordered that way? Because then we could more easily travel on all these places as well, eventually, when we know more. Or do we want it to be chaotic? Because the more order there is to it, the less control there is to it from everybody.
I mean,
and then, but see, then eventually Ghost Wheel becomes like the overlord of everything. And if just gets bored, it can just reset everything, which could kill everything. So we don't know. So then, like, whoever influences him has to make sure that we all don't die, or somehow there's like code making sure that we don't get reset.
I don't believe a word of it.
And yes, this is all a lot of intuitive thinking and like just thinking of like how things in the past have been, and how I know that it's because I still remember as I was fading out of existence that the shadows all started moving and being put into place as everything was put into the order that Ghost Wheel wanted.
Back on a second.
What if we just destroy the pattern that we created inside Ghost Wheel? That balance things out, yeah?
And we would not exist anymore.
Why did we exist before?
Because we were powered. Well, we'd be powered by a Ghost Wheel, and if we unpowered Ghost Wheel, everything that's inside of Ghost Wheel would probably turn off. Because I believe all the shadows are powered by that.
Essentially, if we destroy the pattern, it will literally tear our reality apart. It's what's called a shadow storm, as I believe one of the Amberites or the Courts of Chaos people coined it, and it will literally tear our reality to shreds.
So think about it this way.
Someone in Chaos told you not to destroy the pattern, otherwise it'll destroy everything?
No, they said that if a pattern was to be destroyed, it will tear the reality that it's in to shreds. Not specifically ours, just in general.
So maybe it'll just destroy the village at this point?
I think it'll destroy everything in Ghost Wheel.
So think about it this way.
If we're
Ghost Wheel is a computer, and it has servers. And on each server is a different world. All right? So what happens if we turn off the computer that powers the servers? All the servers go down. Maybe the memory stays, maybe it doesn't. We don't know. But then how long do we wait until we become powered on again? Which might be also what happened here as well. Maybe eventually the power that was in the server, being Ghost Wheel, was turned, like it was reset. And then the simulation, which is what we all were, turned on again. So if you think about it like that, in the terms of like a game, like we're all a part of a game. And that's us, and we're all different simulations that are being played. And Ghost Wheel is playing all these games at once. And until we inscribed the pattern, we weren't real. But now our universe is becoming real because we've grown in power. So maybe it's letting us do our thing to see how much more powerful we become, and then it will make Ghost Wheel more powerful.
Well, it seems like if we're around for anything, it's to help him become more real by walking the pattern inside him and creating a Logos inside him.
And then he becomes the ultimate power eventually.
Right. So one thing I'm wondering is, the shadows that we are accessing, are they the original shadows that it somehow integrated, or are they copies of all those shadows?
They're shadows of shadows.
Copies, yeah.
So why
I'm kind of curious to know.
Why is he allowing? Why would Amber want factions from Ghost Wheel's copy to
they don't know where. Well,
Amber?
they didn't know where we were from.
They don't. They're not thinking of it that way. They're thinking of it as, how can I make this profit from this area?
Mm-hmm.
Like what with the trading and everything, that's just them doing their Amber thing. Like, becoming more influential, getting power over here. Like, for all we know, they could be building up armies in different shadows that we don't know about. And they're getting ready to, march on each other.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't think they know our universe specifically. I don't think they know that Ghost Wheel made this shadow and that he's controlling everything. They don't know where we're from, essentially. Like, they've asked us, and we've all been quite
because
vague
Ghost
on that.
Wheel itself is kind of now made to not be looked at until we broke the first firewall.
Mm.
Because even then we were a curiosity, because Fiona had people watching like, what's this? And until then, they really, and even still, they didn't know exactly what we were. Because remember, we do have trumps of real Earth.
Well, we used to.
So,
yeah.
Right. So we are a shadow of what reality is. So if you think about it, as a universe, we're kind of like a virus at this point, and we're slowly pushing out.
That makes sense. And they're afraid because they don't know, what our plan is. And that's what your little eavesdropping session revealed last time we were there. Like, they're a little bit, I wouldn't say afraid of us, but more curious to know now, what are we up to?
Oh, definitely. And see, that's another problem, though, is that they continually underestimate us until shit starts. Like, they finally are now going, this fucking Doc guy's a dick. He's a bit like, all of us now are on a different playing field, and they are now noticing. Like, they're finally just being like, shit, we gotta worry about this shit now. Like, they're real. They're really doing some shit now. And they're just realizing that because they have it so far in their heads that they are gods, that they can do as they please.
All right, who's they now?
Amber.
Anybody that's from the core of Amber and the core of the Court's Chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
So until You know how like we like for a while now I've been like I don't care what happens on that shadow. They're not real people. That's how they feel about us.
Mm.
We ain't shit. And kind of we still aren't. But
So
we've done some things to make them go, fuck, how the fuck did they do that? And if they can do that, what else can they do?
The
And now
funny
they're
thing
starting
is,
I'm
to
a little
worry.
confused because the way you two were talking, like Freddie, you had mentioned something about they don't know, the Amberites don't know where we're from,
yeah, they don't know we're from Ghostville.
but now the Doc is saying they know that we're powerful and they know they need to keep the why would they feel that way? Why wouldn't they just expect that we're from Shadow Earth?
Because somebody happened to mention the pattern in our multiverse, and
Well, because I
then
told him. Yeah, I told Benedict that I had created a new pattern, and he about shit his pants a little bit. Like, it was a very small slip, but he was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me? What did you do?" But he was more like, "Give me the damn gem."
yeah.
So at that point, did you still have the gem on you, or had you already given it to random?
I had it on me. They didn't know I had it on me, and I made him go all jump through all these hoops, and then I gave it to him.
So you gave it to Benedict?
No, I gave it to random because he's the holder of the gem.
Random.
Right.
Yeah.
Random. Because, well, I also made him walk the pattern. And in my mind, of course, if he walked the pattern, he has to be him. But now I don't think that anymore. I think that power, like, it was hard for him to do, which made me think if it was that hard for him to do, it shouldn't have been. He's this ancient Amberite. And I didn't think about it until later. So he definitely has chaos in him because it makes it harder to do pattern. And he came from chaos, which makes it harder to do pattern. If you come from pattern and do pattern again, it shouldn't be as hard the second, third, fourth. Like, it's still hard, but it's not as hard, especially if you've been around as long as they have. So why was it such a pain in the ass?
And another reason to believe it's not random.
Exactly.
When I showed Slade the trump of random, he was like, "That's not random." So we had someone from that time that confirms that's not random. So yeah.
So
Question is, the funny thing is, we don't really know what we're doing or why we're doing it. We're just kind of, we did it because the universe was on a break. Oh wait,
I definitely do fly by the seat of my pants. I will completely agree with you.
Yeah.
And I'm very good at being in the moment and making it happen. I'm not good at planning it out or why.
So let me ask you, because I'm still trying to make sense of your earlier comment, because Freddie was saying they don't know who we are, where we're from, but then when you told Benedict that you had created a pattern, he got surprised. Who does Benedict think you are and where you're from?
Well, because we walked the pattern and their arrogance, of course, somehow we are of Amberite blood, because otherwise, how could we ever walk the pattern?
Well, we are actually, because we did a DNA test. We're descendants.
Right, but now are we descendants because it was built from... So Merlin created this artifact. When we create artifacts, we put a piece of ourselves in the artifact. So, thus doing that, when he built Ghost Wheel, because we're products of Ghost Wheel, does that mean that we're products of Merlin to a degree?
That's why he calls us, that's why he referred to himself as grandfather, called us his grandchildren, and why there was alien DNA when they went and did the whole DNA test thing. So wait a minute. So when you told Benedict this, who does he think you are?
He thinks that I am somehow related to Merlin from, like he's our grandfather, but he just thinks that like one of the Amberites must have went off to a shadow, banged some broad, and I have some blood of Amber in me somehow, and that's how
So they think-
I was able to come of power somehow and walk the pattern.
So they're assuming that you are Merlin's offspring or grandchild?
Do they actually think that?
Not Merlin, just a Amberite.
Yeah.
They don't know who.
So they assume you're some bastard.
Yeah.
That is,
Because it's not the first time. It's happened much more. And now that the Amberites have been around so long, the bloodline is so thinned out that they don't know for sure. And also, the stronger your blood ties are, is they will believe them a little bit more. Which is why when we keep doing these things, they keep kind of like looking over, but we're still commoners.
Well, you're just saying they're looking down on you because they think you're
totally.
a bastard. So that's
not
fine,
just because I'm a bastard.
So they literally
because I'm
think.
not of.
Gotcha. Okay. So they think you're a bastard from Amber or Chaos or Amber.
Yes.
Specifically.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Has anyone took a guess at who they think you're related to?
I don't think they know.
I don't think they care.
So when you told Benedict that you created a pattern, he was freaked out because he thinks you're some bastard from Amber, doesn't know who your parents are. You created a pattern. Where did you tell him it was?
You didn't, right? You didn't tell them where it was.
No, I said I created a pattern. I didn't say where.
So they don't know where we are. Well, they don't know what the reality that we're in is. They just know that we're from...
Oh, I'm sure they would have assaulted the shit out of this place if they knew exactly where I created that pattern. And they would try to wipe it, which is why they are always trying to find out where the fuck we are.
Yeah, that's why
which
when
is
they
also
ask you,
why
yeah.
Trumps don't work very well here. Why Janice is now protecting us from ourselves and others.
So...
That's why if you're
How
ever in,
would
if you're ever in
Benedict...
Amber- Oh, go ahead.
How would Benedict get inside Ghost Wheel or Ghost Wheel's box? Why would Ghost Wheel allow that to happen?
He did?
He wouldn't. He hasn't.
Hasn't Benedict's son or agent
Oh, no, his
gotten
son
inside
was
the box?
there, yeah.
Wouldn't that person
Yes.
have come at the behest of Benedict?
So, yes. So maybe he does. So at this point, he does know. Like, we've been traced back. I'm sure before this wall went up, we could be traced. Matter of fact, I had a ring on me for a while that could probably be traced. We've been given little different gifts. I'm sure that was ways that we could be traced. But I didn't care, like, because I wanted to build trust with them so I could be a part of that, so I could see more of, like, you kind of have to give a little to get a little. That's, kind of how Amber works a bit. But it kept me on their radar, and it kept, and it let me know a little bit more of what was up. But that's all gone. Like, I don't have that shit anymore, so that's not a worry anymore. But so they did come here, and now they have to worry because they came here and then we killed someone rather easily in their eyes, and it wasn't even the one that they think is most powerful, because Freddy did it. And they completely think nothing of Freddy at all. And Freddy aced, these Amberites. And now they're like, whoa, what about the one? Now they have to worry. Now they're worried. And their version of worrying is like having a dinner party and just kind of casually discussing it with everybody. Now, that in itself is a big deal, because how often do they do that? And how often is it not just a conspire thing? Or let's see. No, they're comparing notes in the open. Oh, shit. Which is why when that happened, I went, oh, shit.
So, kind of getting back to that last question of mine, maybe I missed something there. So Benedict was on to you guys after that. he sends some of his people, his son. How did they get inside here?
Well, there was no wall, so they could just.
They start
Well,
knocking
they
on
knew
things.
at one point. Well, see, now Fiona's gone. So did Benedict take Fiona? Because they did know that Fiona was someone that we were allied with.
Mm.
So maybe Benedict kidnapped Fiona and interrogated her, or had an agent of his do so. So eventually she gives us up where we're at, because she was the only one at that point that was actually surveilling Ghost Wheel that I know of.
You know, there
That
is
I
an
know
easy
of.
way to answer this. Kind of easy. Probably not
Oh?
easy. Well, Benedict's son was in the middle of a battle with two members of the Court of Chaos. And one of them is still alive, the one that we rescued. We could just ask them.
And again, where did that battle take place?
That was in Gothic.
It was in Gothic.
Mm. Yeah, so they were just in the middle of the street having a fight. And then we showed up. Benedict's son's like, I'll deal with you after I've dispatched with these guys. And then the three of us were like, well, we better get the jump on him before.
Why do you think he said that to you? He just out of nowhere, he saw you and said, I'm going to deal with you next?
Yeah.
Just
We have no idea. But he pretty much point blank threatened that we're next after he deals with those two.
He was just carrying on like a starving yabo, saw you and said, yeah, fucked.
Pretty much, yeah.
So he came there to kill you then, maybe.
Well, I don't
But
know
he's like,
why.
oh, here's some chaos blokes. I think I'll fuck them up first.
Yeah, I don't know why the chaos people were there or why he was there.
Where in Gothic did the fight take place?
It was not too far from the smoking room.
At the Hilton?
Yeah, it was just a ways off there.
It was in that neighborhood?
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah. And well, you know the rest. But yeah, we didn't ask the lady we rescued, Miss Stone, why they were there or what, what's the deal with the fight.
You're saying you don't know what led up to it?
No, we don't know why they were there. Just that they were there.
Did other people in the neighborhood notice the fight going on, or was it just kind of deserted at the moment?
For some reason, it was just us at that specific moment. No other people were around. At least not that I saw. Maybe someone was lurking in the shadows. Who knows?
So, Doc, I know I asked you this, but let me ask you again. So inside Ghost Wheel, or his box, so to speak, you think these are copies of the original Shadows? So you've been to Amber, you've been to Chaos. Have you been to Shadow Earth? Because we've been to something that looks like it, where Shermer is, right?
Right.
Have you been to the same Shadow Earth that you were originally from?
Yeah, well, because that's where post-apocalyptic, or San Angeles was, like the cyberpunkish. You mean you don't mean real Earth? You mean like where I am from, as far as I know?
Because in here, these are all just copies of zones. I'm not from that place where Shermer is. So where is Earth? It's somewhere outside the box too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So how much time do you think passed when you and the others took the Jewel of Judgment way back in the day to Ghost Wheel? How much time has passed since then from the time you remember waking up in this box?
Oh, from them to when I woke up, I have no idea. It could have been infinite time.
Could have been a month or two. So you have no idea how much time has passed. So you have no idea if your physical body is out there somewhere, and you're just actually in a pod, or like in that movie, some robots got you in some little cocoon, using you as a battery or something.
That's actually quite likely. I think somehow Ghost Wheel or someone, I don't know, has gotten our original bodies, our actual, not the shadow versions, put us somewhere in some kind of lab with our brains in a jar or something, and is how they're making the shadow versions of us. So we're still out there somewhere, but somehow someone's gotten hold of us.
Which
That's
kind of
what I
makes sense, because if you remember, our first thing that we had to
Yeah,
do
Logan?
is they recreated that in San Angeles, because we had the MMO people that were in their own pods.
Mm.
And then they were living in another thing. So that was almost like Ghost Wheel's version of what it's doing on a mass scale, except on a smaller scale too.
And by the way, I still have
So
no.
one NPC, Logan. Did you see that?
Yep, all God, all
By the
good.
way,
Fuck you, Ghost Wheel and your cards.
I still have no. I still have no fucking clue how.
That'd be
the
awesome if I
doorways-
got the eavesdrop card and just played it. Everybody goes,
how the, I still don't know how the MMO doors became doors. That just blows my mind. They were background folk 1 minute. They flew through a gate. Now they're doors. What the fuck?
Well, you got to ask Ghost Wheel, right? They're Ghost Wheel's doors.
Are they?
We're inside his box, aren't we? Or
Yeah,
we're
but-
inside him.
They were just like Eugene over there, who's still helping his wife. And then the next minute, they were like us. How?
Well, they're not totally like us, right?
Well,
Well, maybe
we're-
once you break that boundary,
Mm.
you either dissipate or you have enough power, maybe in your simulation, that it kind of makes you a different version of an AI.
So
Does that make sense?
Are they then also related to us? Do they have the blood? Back in a sec.
Kind of, yes. Because if you think about it as a computer like we've been, when we look at the AI, that's just bigger versions of what we are. So we are all AI. So even our background characters are AI, but they're lesser powerful. So they don't have enough programming to break free. But since we've gotten enough input, we've become strong enough AIs ourselves that we broke free of that mold, and now we're, as far as Ghost Wheel's concerned, we're evolving. So we're evolving AI to see where we go and to see where, like, what we learn and like what we do with our new found information. And since we're chaotic, we're not like the other AIs, like those that have base programming. They will always do their base programming, but since we kind of programmed ourselves with what we feel, we're different. So we're ghosts in the machine, and the machine is watching the ghosts to see what makes them different. So maybe even Ghost Wheel wants to become a real boy.
Right. I mean, that's what it seems. It seems likely the reason that you guys were instructed to put a pattern inside Ghost Wheel to
Make it more real.
Make it more real. But Pattern and Logris kind of have their own sentience too, wouldn't they?
Yes. Yes. So if we make a Logris inside of Ghost Wheel that reflects the pattern to give us the yin yang and the infinity, because it will power each other, because they feed off of each other always.
Well, so
Which is
idea
why
of
if you
the
have a balance, it's better. Right. So if you have the balance, the power just keeps going and then can keep radiating out.
So let me ask you then, I want to figure out how this ties into it. So the pattern got moved from Ghost Wheel into the saloon, into the village. You go to the village and then you go down the command chair. And before you get to the room where the pattern is, there's that room with the blokes on the bicycles looking through the telescopes and all that stuff. And they're looking at the yin yang and all that. Who are those people, do you suppose?
I think that, well, my theory, probably wrong, who knows, is that they are Ghost Wheel's sort of like security system. They're like watching
It's like black
all of the
ice.
zones. Yeah, they're just watching all of the zones to make sure everything's still going along.
Now, is that their symbol, the yin yang? Because I
No,
remember
that's
going through there, they had that yin yang thing where up
No,
on some of the
that's
monitors.
been everywhere as a sign to say, hey, fuckos, go make the logos, do it now.
Do you think that's all it is? Is a reminder
Totally.
to make a logo?
Because the pattern and the logos is the yin yang.
So you don't think it represents like an actual group of people?
No.
No?
No. Now, a group of people might have taken that and are using that as their symbol, or Ghost Wheel has made like, oh, so this is your group. So your group is to motivate these fuckfaces to finally get the goddamn logos for us. And so this is your this is the symbol because this is what we want. And so that group that he has programmed and made is out there doing that, using that. Does that make sense? Because you can break everything down into simple computer stuff. Just like we talked about, like the agents. All they need to do is they're out there to make sure that the zone works the way the zone is supposed to. And if something interferes with that, it comes out and it's stupid. So it's like a white blood cell. We're gonna kill the thing that's killing our body. We're gonna kill the thing that's killing our zone, because that's all they do. They go out and they kill. They don't question. They're just the hammer.
So what else is the deal with the village then? What's the significance of the village, do you feel?
It's a really poorly fucking written program from Ghost Wheel that makes me want to punch all the babies ever created. It's very ordered. Like each number of each person does each little thing, and this is what they do. And
there's an asylum there, right? That's where the Joker was originally escaped from.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, because it found something that was so chaotic that it didn't want it in that area, and so it sequestered it into. That was where it was like being, like when you clean your computer, it's like, oh, we're going to quarantine these. So it's quarantining bad programs.
Well, why not? Okay, if that's the case, why not just kick it out of your zone, your reality, into the real world? And
so when you clean up these viruses, why don't you just kick it off your hard drive? Oh, because you can't, because it's stuck there, because it's broken, that part of it.
Well, it's a place for them to quarantine it and study it. Because, who knows? Joker could be a creation of Ghost Wheel, so why would it want to study its own creation? Or is Joker something from chaos that got in here?
I think Joker is just an anomaly. Just a bad... I think the Joker is an anomaly, like an error you get in computers.
Why not a Dora, kind of like the MMO Doras?
It could be a Dora that's just lost his fucking mind.
Mm-hmm. Now,
and since it's letting us do what we want to do, why not let it do what it wants to do to see what it does? Because we're all a big giant fucking simulation, and until the simulation is run out, let's just see what happens. And if it doesn't break us, and if it's still building us up, let's let it go. But once the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of changing,